In this video, I will be sharing with you why it is important to surrender when you are going through Kundalini Awakening experiences in life. Kundalini is an energy of transformation, and based upon my personal experiences, I would be sharing with you whatever I experienced and how my experience changed through the power of surrender. Kundalini is an energy of transformation, and the purpose of Kundalini is to wash you from inside out. It means that it is decluttering yourself, it is decluttering your rotten belief systems which have kind of separated you from your real identity of where you came from. You came from the divine source. And on the way after you took birth, your brain and your mind was conditioned to think, perceive, and work in a specific manner, which might not be serving you well. So if you are having Kundalini experiences, first of all, despite having all the difficulties and challenges that I know, each one of us has to go through, but for some people it may be blissful experience all the way through the beginning. But I still have to meet those people who could say that all their Kundalini experience was full of bliss from the beginning to where they are on their journey of Kundalini awakening, because Kundalini is not an easy energy to manage, especially if you have not, especially if it happened all of a sudden and you were not aware about the process of Kundalini. It may not be easy. When it happened to me, I was doing kind of spiritual practices since I was a teenager, but I didn't know what was the Kundalini experience, and my body was not at all prepared for that experience. So when I had my first Kundalini experience in the year 2005, I had to face a lot of challenges in terms of experiences which my body was not kind of ready to take in. Since it's an energy that it is also called a twin snake energy of yin and yang, and once it rises through your system, its purpose is to balance you, to balance both your left and right channel, to bring your male and feminine, masculine and feminine aspects of you in alignment, to bring balance in them, to make you completely independent and let you connect with your sense of individuality. You can feel you belong to the larger universe. You can feel you belong to that larger scheme of divine around you. So when Kundalini rises through you and you are facing it, it's not an easy energy to take in, and you feel that there's excess energy in your system and it is bringing forth the issues or traumas or any kind of blockages in your nerves, and your body is undergoing a rapid change, your brain is undergoing a rapid change, and it is transforming for your betterment. But it may not be easy to believe, especially when you are going through these challenging situations. So I hope that this video would help you to understand if you are at that stage in your process where you are facing the challenges of Kundalini awakening, then I can assure you that it's just a matter of time. But how much time, it is difficult to say, because this is a very subjective experience. However, you have to take good care of you. Self-care is important. This energy is teaching you how to really fall in love with yourself, because when you really fall in love with yourself, you will be healing different aspects of your personality which have taken birth due to your conditioning through your family, through your culture, through the people around you, your friends and family, where your belief system is faulty. It is trying to cure you of the faulty belief systems. It is trying to cure you of the ill health that is created through those faulty belief systems. It is curing you of anxieties, it is curing you of the fears and phobias, which might block you from enjoying that blissful experience of feeling yourself as a part of the whole. When you can feel that connection of belonging to the larger universe, I can assure you that a lot of fears and will melt away, because most of our fears are coming through the feeling of separation from others. Our ego intervenes and ego thinks that it is different from others, it is unique from others. So that emphasis in our cultures on the uniqueness, that you are unique, definitely you are unique because the nature has created only one of its kind in its creation. In that sense, definitely you're unique. But if you think yourself as unique because you have this talent, this asset, that belonging, or you are superior to others around you due to these assets that are coming from your egoic self or due to the material accumulation, then this is not an authentic uniqueness. Your authentic uniqueness emerges only through surrender. Surrender to the Kundalini energy. When it's surging through you, you can literally feel that your ego is helpless, your ego has no value, your ego is not powerful. So all the belief systems that you have created through your sense of ego, they are failing you to make you realize there is a power beyond. And when you connect, you are able to connect with that power when you surrender, and you're able to connect with your authentic self through that surrender. Because through that surrender only, you will begin to decondition your perspective, you will begin to decondition your sense of reality, which could be the most challenging experience. Because when this is happening, everything around you that you thought was your reality, it is diminishing, it is melting away. So your sense of old referencing is it's dying off. It's like you are sitting in a room, like when the Kundalini was not awakened, you were in a brightly lit room enjoying your reality. And suddenly when the Kundalini takes you over, and it is working through you and diminishing and melting away your old sense of self, suddenly you're sitting in a completely darkened room. And you can imagine your experience of sitting in a dark room, all the things that you perceived through your five senses and the feelings associated with it, you are not able to access them during that period. And that period is called the dark night of the soul. So when you are going through the dark night of the soul, if you are at that stage, surrender is the key, because your process will not move forward if you do not surrender to the divine, if you do not surrender to something larger than you, to the creative universal force that is trying to work through you, through its creation, that is you, and melting away your egoic self so that you could feel your authentic wholeness of connectedness to the larger universe. So how will you go about surrendering? First of all, you just have to accept whatever is happening in your life at that moment and feel that connection of something larger than you is working through you and that is taking care of you. Because the purpose of Kundalini is definitely not to harm you, though you may think so while your ego is going through these challenges. It is the voice of your ego. So you have to understand in that surrender that the ego is feeling the fear. And once over the time, as you start letting go, surrendering, you begin to understand this dynamic of ego, and you begin to understand the support that Kundalini is extending to you. It is something like you meet a stranger and you need to spend some time with him or her in order to become familiar to them. So similarly, when you begin to surrender, you befriend Kundalini energy. It speaks to you, it communicates to you, And I have experienced that I have better connection with the energy, and you can you have more intuition, you begin to trust yourself better, and there is some inner voice. That connection you develop with that inner voice becomes very, very strong, as if you are talking to a friend, or the voice gives you kind of guidance through your dreams. So pay attention to the dreams. I have had experiences where I dreamt of healing being done, and the next morning when I woke up, if I was having a pain or any kind of thing, it would just go away and I would feel so fresh. So there are different ways it operates for different individuals, but I'm just letting you know through my subjective experience that this is an energy of ultimate love, energy of presence, energy of decluttering yourself from the stresses, all the conditioned mind stresses, which doesn't matter at the end of your life. End of your life, you're going to leave this body. 100-year span, that is the maximum span of human beings. So it's completely changing your perspective. It is putting you in the state of relaxation by making you go through those challenges. So it comes as a blessing in disguise, because it is trying to kind of transport you into the permanent state of presence, permanent state of bliss, permanent state of freeing you from a lot of barriers and fears you might have cultivated as you grew up. So surrender is the key, and in that surrender you have to accept, you have to know there is some power, there is some energy that is your own energy of potential working through you